Welcome to Martial Arts Cast. I'm your host, Ryan Jack. Thank you guys for coming out today. We're getting it done August 23rd, 2015. We're getting it in from Los Angeles, California. I just wanted to briefly cover what this podcast is all about. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, my background, and how I got into martial arts. And of course, I'll talk a little bit about the school that I train at. And then, of course, a little bit about my coach. The most important thing we're going to talk about today is obviously going to be about martial arts cast and what this whole thing's going to be about. Really, I want this to be a conversational, interactive podcast where I can communicate with the viewers or listeners. And really, I want you to throw out there any information that can be covered under martial arts cast that you would like to talk about, any kind of topic that you have out there, whether it's taping injuries or competition diets or how you train, et cetera, et cetera. It could be really anything under that scope of anything martial arts related. That's kind of what I want to keep in that vein of the podcast. I'd like to really cover news in the UFC, Bellator, obviously Glory, any other competitions out there that you feel like you want to hear about and or you'd like me to podcast about. I'd be more than happy to do that. I will try to do that anyway. I'm definitely going to cover the UFC, probably some Bellator. Obviously, there's going to be some news in there as well, and it's going to be more of an educational, I guess, podcast, so to speak, where we can all kind of converse and learn and share things about our personal experiences, maybe. I probably won't get into too much of my personal experiences, obviously, for it's not about me, it's about the podcast. So I'd rather, if there's something that I experienced that I'd like to cover, I definitely will. But for the most part, I definitely want to engage the viewers as much as possible. I mean, really, that's the main point. So if you have any questions, comments, constructive criticisms, by all means, throw it down in the comments section. We're on YouTube, Martial Arts Cast /C/ excuse me. YouTube is youtube.com/C/Martial Arts Cast. MartialArtsCast.com is the website. You can always get our podcast on on iTunes and or Android. Should be available immediately. Let's see here. We're on Twitter as well, at Martial Arts PC. The PC is for podcast, so at Martial Arts PC on Twitter. Feel free to get in touch at any point if there's a topic that you want to talk about. If there's a certain style of martial arts that you feel like needs to be discussed, let me know and we'll talk about it. I definitely will be doing some martial arts profiles as far as, like, for example, some history and the progression of, say, karate or mixed martial arts or jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. I definitely want to cover a variety of different martial arts styles. I think that'd be kind of cool just from an educational standpoint and of course from my own personal knowledge, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that too. I don't want it always to just be about what I want to talk about. Like I said, I mean, the key is for everybody to kind of get together and come up with some topics that we want to hear about, talk about. And of course, I'm going to try to get better audio and video as we continue to go along through the podcast. I'm going to try to incorporate Skype phone calls or just regular phone calls as well. And maybe at some point we can do live casts where you guys can comment and certain things and I can interact in a live podcast with you. YouTube is actually testing beta right now for live streaming podcasts, which is kind of cool. So I'm super stoked about that. And that's one thing that I want to jump on, but I do need to research some cameras and get the better audio video going to make sure that I don't make anybody's ears bleed or eyes fall out or anything like that. So let's try to keep it on the up and up here, folks. So a little bit of background about myself. You guys obviously get the martial arts cast and what it's about. I'm 37 years old. My name's Ryan Jack. I've been in California for a few years, about 4 years, I guess. I started training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu April 17th, 2012. I started training at Street Sports Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in Santa Monica, California. StreetSportsBJJ.com is the website. Go check it out. So I started training there April 17th, 2012, right, as a white belt. 0 stripes on the belt, obviously. I'd never trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before. Well, technically I had, but I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so really I started in April of 2012, and then I just got promoted February, I believe, 18th of 2015, which is this year. It's a very long time to have your blue belt. It's not due for a lack of wanting to continuously train. I had multiple injuries, compounding injuries, an injury that kept getting exacerbated. I had to try to figure out how to work with it. One injury lasted literally about 20 months. It's an injury that I'm going to have to deal with for a while. But I had to learn how to work with the injury, train with the injury, not exacerbate it, and help the injury heal. And that was really one of the most biggest, I guess, the biggest obstacle that I had to overcome, and the biggest struggle, not only mentally but also physically too. I don't want to go into detail about on all the injuries, but I did have a bunch of them throughout the first 3 years. And I guess the one lesson that I learned in that whole thing is not that jujitsu is a dangerous sport or anything like that. A large part of it was due to the fact that I didn't work out for 15 to 17 years before getting into jujitsu. So it's really about my body kind of deteriorating or not keeping up the physicality that I should have, because I'm the only guy at the gym that has ever experienced injuries like that before. But mainly it was an injury before I ever got into jujitsu, was the one that I had to dial in for 18 to 20 months. So that wasn't even in that injury never even occurred in jiu-jitsu. So, but the point is I learned a lot of tough lessons. You have to learn, and you have to treat your body right, and you have to listen to your body too. Um, so that was one of the reasons why I missed a lot of time on the mats. And thankfully, the end of January, I finally came back. I was literally training, like, just so you guys understand, I was training for like 2 to 3 weeks. I would exacerbate the injury, and then I would have to take 2 to 3 months off. And so I would lose the sensitivities, I would lose the feeling, the muscle memory, all the training. I just felt like I was relearning everything that I've lost. And fast forward to, like I was saying, January 2015, I finally got everything dialed in. I've only missed 1 month of practice this year, which I'm super excited about. I cannot say how excited I am to be back to consistently training. I trained from the end of January to the beginning of April. I had to take a little bit of time off in April due to a flare up of the injury. I just found one more movement that I needed to stay away from. One more, I guess, bending motion that really exacerbated the injury. But since April, I've actually trained consistently, and it's almost September. So I'm super stoked about that. Super happy that jiu-jitsu is going smoothly once again. I'm training with literally zero injuries. So life couldn't be any better than where it's at right now. So just a little bit of information on how I got into jiu-jitsu. I walked into a brick and mortar video store back in the mid to late 90s. So it was like 97, 98, 99, somewhere around in there. I saw the Ultimate Fighting Championship videos, just sitting there next to the face of death in the NC-17 section. It's like, gotta check it out, right? It looks kind of interesting. I'd never really been able to take martial arts in my youth. I was a gymnast for 8 years, competitive gymnast for 8 years. Coincidentally, never had an injury in gymnastics, believe it or not. So that was kind of that was kind of interesting. I had way more injuries in the first 3 years of jiu-jitsu than I ever did in gymnastics in the 8 years that I was in there. So I kind of laugh about that a little bit. But you're a little bit more flexible in bending when you're a kid, especially 8 to 15 years old. So maybe that has a lot to do with it too. So anyway, I saw those videos at the brick and mortar store, getting back on track. Fell in love with it. Found a guy that was training with the Gracies a couple of weeks out of the year down in Brazil, and I don't remember what camp it was, and I don't even remember what city it was. Forgive me for saying that. It's been 17 years since I've probably seen the guy. But anyway, I trained under him for about 3 months. Super excited that I even found somebody that taught mixed martial arts, let alone actual jiu-jitsu in the area that I grew up in, East Tennessee. At that point, I don't know that I had ever heard of any kind of jiu-jitsu program or school that was in the area back in the early 2000s, like 99, 2000. So anyway, at that point in my life, just to kind of wrap that up and fast forward back to where we're at now, I just wasn't ready to really move forward with martial arts as a lifelong journey at that point. Fast forward to when I was 34 and started over at Street Sports. That became my new thing. It became a lifelong journey to continuously learn and improve on myself and my physicality, my mentality. Just become an all-around better person. And I think I think jiu-jitsu does that for me. It provides a camaraderie. It provides, a lot of different things. You have great teammates that take care of you on the mat, like they do at Street Sports in Santa Monica. Again, streetsportsbjj.com is the place where I train at in Santa Monica. My coach's name is Renato Magno. He is a sixth degree black belt. He is from Brazil. He came over with the Machado brothers from Brazil and taught with the Machado brothers at their school for a very long time. And until 1998, that's when he opened his series of schools, Street Sports Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and he's graduated multiple black belts. And if you go to the website, you'll be able to see everybody that's graduated from his schools. And there are multiple street sports schools around Southern California, or I should say in the greater Los Angeles area. You should be able to find at least a school that you're sort of close to. But Street Sports is located on 31st and Ocean Park Boulevard in Santa Monica, California. I think I've probably already said that like 2 or 3 times. But just to talk a little bit about Renato, he's an incredible coach. He has an incredible style of teaching. He's a very understanding man. One of the kindest people I think I've ever met. I love the way he teaches. I love how he treats his students. Everybody respects everybody. We always leave our egos at the door. You really can't. I can't say enough about the school. I can't say enough about my teammates or my coach. But just a little bit more background about him. Renato Magno, he's trained under Gastal Gracie Neto when he had his blue belt. Of course, he's trained under Carlos Gracie Jr., blue and purple belt, and then purple belt, brown belt, and black belt under Higan Machado. And I believe he just received his 6th stripe on his black belt last December, which would be December 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Now, not only does Renato have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but he also has a black belt in Judo. He studied under Akira Ono Neto, Carlos Alberto Pacheco, Pacheco, so you'll have to excuse me if I pronounce that incorrectly. All the information that I've given you, though, basically on Coach Renato Magno is on the website. So if you go there and check it out, you'll be able to see this information as well. Plus, you'll see some of his friends and family, and you'll get to learn a little bit about the school, a little bit about who he knows, which is virtually everybody in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. He knows everybody in basically everybody in the mixed martial arts community as well. I mean, it's amazing how many people he knows. He's even trained one of the most decorated UFC champions, as well as other UFC fighters and MMA fighters under the Street Sports name. So he's not just limited to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or he's not limited as just a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach. We have a world champion boxing coach that trains Renato as well, Ray Mancini, an incredible boxer. If you guys ever get a chance to check his information out, go see what Ray Mancini's done. Also, I just wanted to say that Renato has not only been a defensive tactics consultant, he's taught jiu-jitsu to the LAPD, which is the Los Angeles Police Department, and the New York Police Department. He's actually taught more than 8,000 police officers since he's been getting into assisting municipalities, I suppose, or the police departments, as other people know them. One of the other cool things about Renato is he trains a lot of all different types of people, and one of his students is named David Mamet, who's he's a very well respected writer, producer, director. Renato has acted not only as an actor, but as a technical consultant and fight choreographer for the movie Red Belt, which is a jiu-jitsu movie. An incredible jiu-jitsu movie, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storyline. It's a great story. I believe there's some names that you'll probably recognize that are in that movie. Let's see here. John Machado's in there. Tim Allen is in that movie as well. Joe Mantegna. Those are just a handful. Of course, Ed O'Neill, I believe, is in that movie as well. Jennifer Grey. So there's been a few decent people that you'd recognize, and of course there's some of my teammates in that movie as well, and of course my coach is one of the fighters in the movie as well, which is kind of cool too. So so Renato's got a lot of experience. He literally knows everybody. We do have Dana White stops by the gym once to twice a year when the UFC comes into town, and of course we do have UFC fighters that do stop by from time to time, either to do privates or to train a little bit with some of my teammates. I've never personally trained with any active UFC fighters at this point. However, I think it'd be kind of cool to do that at some point. Hopefully, the UFC fighters will come in there when they do, and I'll be able to have a nice solid train with them, and everybody will stay safe and we'll have a good time. After all, anybody that comes into our gym or Hinata's gym, safety is one of the biggest things that we preach. Obviously we want to take care of everybody. We want everybody to stay healthy, and we want it to be a long, fruitful journey through Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and or any other martial arts that we pursue at that school. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Martial Arts Cast, give you a little basic information about myself, and of course, talk a little bit about the school that I go to, and of course my coach, who's been an incredible incredible teacher, coach, friend, especially along my twisted, kind of strange, short but seemingly long journey to in jiu-jitsu, just in earning my blue belt so far. But I wouldn't trade jiu-jitsu for the world. I wouldn't trade any of the experiences, any of the injuries that I've received in life and or in jiu-jitsu. I wouldn't trade any of them for a better, healthier route. It happened how it happened, and everybody's journey in martial arts is different, and I guess that's one of the cool lessons that I learned, is that I want to do the best that I possibly can, and be the best person that I can be, and obviously be the best student and martial artist that I can be. So anyway, so if you guys have any questions, you got any comments, criticisms, by all means, go ahead and throw it in the comments section. Like, subscribe. If you're not a fan, that's okay. Pass it on to maybe somebody who you think might like the podcast. If you have any ideas, by all means, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll definitely create a podcast about it. I'm gonna try to get more podcasts out more frequently, and hopefully without having to re-record and waste more time. Really the first and foremost is just to get this information out there, so we all have something to converse about, talk about, and really connect with one another. That's why I'm doing this. So thank you guys for coming out again and listening. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate the martial arts cast community. If there's anything you want to know about me personally, or anything that I can discuss on your behalf, please let me know. Again, you guys have a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy your life, eat good, feel good, look good, train good, and if you've done all that, then maybe take a day off if you need it. All right, martialartscast.com, at martialartspc on Twitter, Martial Arts Cast on Facebook, and I forgot one, but that's all right. You guys have a great day. Get out of here.